Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about tips that can make you better at this game in terms of combat. So yeah, we're going to be going over a couple of tips, but without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so first on the list we have Super Armor. Super Armor is displayed as a yellow buff man, and it is a buff for your character. Basically, what it does is that it makes your character immune to knockback or stagger, so they can't actually get knocked when they're fighting a monster or a boss. So basically how this works, I'll put a demonstration, is when you use a parry or a dodge or use some sort of ability or some way, shape, or form, you will get super armor. And what this will do to you is it will basically make it so that you can not get knocked back. So for example, triggering abilities will give you super armor, and it does very much help you out, as there's a lot of other things that can give you super armor, like the simulations or just abilities in general that can make it so that your character doesn't get knocked around during a fight if you do take a hit. So this can help with your rhythm, and it can overall help your damage output. Alright, for the second point, or tip I should say, is shooting enemies in the air. Now there only are a certain amount of characters that can shoot or target characters in the air. One of them being Zombie Man in his ranged form with his gun mode, and only certain abilities can. A Metal Knight can with his M1, and also Arms Genos can too. But basically, this is very good. I'll put a demonstration up. It is very good because most characters are basically almost invulnerable in the air because no one on your team can really target them. But there are a few that can, and while they're flying in the air, they can be pretty vulnerable. For example, Mosquito Girl when she's charging up her mosquitoes, or Vaccine Man when he's attacking back. But just do be cautious though, you will get hit by Vaccine Man, his energy balls. So it can do a lot of damage to you. But in here, I was playing a team commission, so they targeted someone else, so I got free damage on Vaccine Man that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't know this tech. Alright, for tip number 3, we have timing your composure break or pursuit skill. So basically, what I mean by this is you want to wait till the very end of the window of your composure break to actually click it, because your enemies are already in a vulnerable state once they enter their kind of weakness, where you can actually have the option to take them down with the composure. I think it's a great idea to just wait till the very last minute, because your enemies will be in a vulnerable state, and then once you click that, you don't lose any time out of your actual composure break. So basically this adds on to when they're standing still and being vulnerable. For example, a very good enemy to do this on is Mosquito Girl, because she always flies around and really just dodges attacks and just makes it so your AI has to run around a bunch. But if you wait for your composure reduction skill and then click it, you get a little bit more window to attack her while she's standing still, which is very valuable. Tip 4 is stagger recovering. So basically, how to recover from a stagger is by basically clicking spacebar once you hit the ground and once you get knocked back. So right after you get knocked back, you want to click spacebar when you hit the ground, and that's going to cancel the animation of you falling over and getting back up, and that's going to get you right back into the battle as quick as you can. This method can be used for saving time in general, and also for getting an edge, and saving your momentum, because usually in these battles you get a rhythm, and the boss usually messes it up because of the fact that they'll just knock you back, and it doesn't really feel right that you're just laying on the floor for half a second, a couple seconds, or whatever it is. So you can cancel this by clicking dodge. It is actually very helpful, and it saved me a lot of time in the past. Tip number 5 is that dodge gives immunity frames. Now, if you didn't know this already, basically your dodge can only be used as a movement tool. So sure, the dodge does get your character model around places, and you can get your character around places pretty quickly, but dodge can actually give you immunity, and that's how they use the tech to basically dodge opponents' attacks. It's not moving your character out of the way, but it's giving your character temporary immunity. So you can use this to your knowledge, is that if you just time dodge properly, you can basically dodge anything in the game, right? So with that being said, you can, if a guy's giving you like a head-on swing, you can just dash right into him. It doesn't matter. You don't have to dash to the side necessarily. You don't have to dash to the other side or anywhere like that. Or if he's like swiping at you, you have to dodge to the back. You can just dodge right in front of him. Now this does really depending on how much the attack hitbox is active. For example, Pluton's sword, he kind of lays it down just a little bit too slow. So if you do dash into him, you do get penalty and you do take some damage from that and knockback. So there is that to note. But if it's just a really quick swipe like Vaccine Man's punch, you can just dash right into it. Alright, for the 6th and final tip of this video, we are going to be talking about Composure Break and your ultimate. And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this before, but your Composure Break and your ultimate both cancel your opponent's attacks and abilities, right? They interrupt them. But they both have different, they have separate disarm times where the enemy is like down and out for, right? So obviously the Composure is longer, and the ultimate only lasts around 1 or 2 seconds when they're on the ground, and then they get right back up. So what happens if you use your ultimate when they are in their Composure Break? Well, what happens is your ultimate overrides it, right? And overwrites it so that the enemy gets up 2 seconds after you use your ultimate, basically, right? So you want to try to use your ultimate after the composure reduction is done, like making the enemy go down. And then once they're back up, then you can use your ultimate, because if you use it during that, your Composure Break basically just goes to waste and it's not very good. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching my video. Anyways, if you want to hear any news or any sorts of videos about One Punch Man World, then please drop a subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything to share down below, you can just head right down to the comment section and say whatever you want there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my video again, and have a great day, everybody. Hope you guys have a great one.